Today, in this brief segment, you will learn three-point lighting for still photography in 3 easy steps. The essentials of three-point lighting are your key, back, and fill lights. Your key light is the primary illumination on your subject. Today, our key will be a Kino Flow 4x2 bank light, which is a soft and gorgeous light. The second essential is your backlight, which is used for highlighting around your subject and also for creating separation between your subject and the background. Today, our backlight will be created by a dado light. Dado lights are hard lights controlled by a dimmer located on the front of the light. With dado lights, you can also spotlight a subject area or flood the entire room. This is a great kit that I highly recommend. The third essential is your fill light. The purpose of this light is to lift the shadows created by your key and backlights. The fill light is not intended to be as intense as the key, but only to fill in the shadows with light. The most common way to achieve fill light is by using a reflector panel or an umbrella that will bounce the light from your key and backlights into the shaded area when positioned correctly. You can also shine a separate light at the reflector panel and point the reflector into the shadows. With your key, back, and fill lights in their correct positions, you can move on to step 2. But we are not quite there yet. We must first place the lights in the relative position to our subject. Starting with our Kino Flow light for our key, we want to place this light at a 45-degree angle relative to our subject in our camera. Note that in most circumstances, the key light is placed to the left of the subject. For today's purposes, we'll place the camera directly in front of the subject. Now moving on to backlight. To create a highlight or a rim of light around your subject, we will place the dado light behind our subject and slightly off to the right, pointing it in the subject area. Now, I mentioned before that you could use the reflector to bounce the key and backlights into the shadows, or you could use a separate light, shine it into the reflector, then point the reflector into the shadows. Once you have properly positioned your lights, you are ready to move on to step 2. The second step in three-point lighting is testing your subject area. You must do this to make certain that your contrast ratios are as desired, meaning that you achieve the dramatic level between your 3 lights. To test your lights, you must use a light meter to measure the intensity of the light falling on your subject. In still photography, this is achieved by pointing your 35mm camera at a gray card. You must position the gray card in the specific areas where each of your 3 lights are pointed. 35mm still photography cameras usually have a reflective meter inside. In order to obtain an accurate reading, you want to position the gray card in front of your subject and your key, back, and fill lights. As you can see, the gray card is positioned in front of the key light. Then you can calculate the different readings, i.e. f-stop ratios, and determine if that is the desired look. If it is not, and you desire a more dramatic light or even a flat light, I suggest you tweak your ratios by adding or subtracting light at each point. Once you have finally achieved your desired ratios, testing is complete. You can now move on to step 3.